Hey, it's Peter Coffin, and McDonald Trump is a thing now. It's Mick, and then Donald, and then Trump. Huh? Yep, McDonald Trump. Somehow, I haven't seen anybody say that anywhere. Nobody's using that nickname, and nicknames are basically the only way you can deal with Donald Trump. Trump working at McDonald's is bigly a win for him, actually huge in terms of his campaign. But a lot of people disagree. A lot of people are trying to shit on this like it's somehow not what people want. So today I want to talk to you about something the Democrats do, but the left in general, alienate everybody that they need in order to do anything that they want. Like, have you watched any of the McDonald Trump footage? It's a masterclass in exactly how to interface with the public. And I don't like saying that because Donald Trump should not be looked at as one to give masterclasses in anything at all, ever.
We're going to get 3 medium fries, so would you like to put the medium fries in the bag?
I think so, yeah, so we'll do that. Do they ever ask for more salt? I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious. Now it's over the left shoulder now. Okay, let's go. How long have you done this? How long have you been here?
I've been working McDonald's 10 plus.
10 plus? Wow. All different jobs?
Yes.
She doing a good job?
Does an excellent job.
She better, right?
Does an excellent job.
She's beautiful. Let's go.
First order, get 3 medium fries, and they're waiting for you.
Okay, very good. Let's go. All right. Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer out there.
Nice.
Wow.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
To be frank, he came off like a retired grandpa who's getting a part-time job in order to fill up the time. That is to say, he came off more like a human being than anybody has in politics at all. As much as it's fun to make jokes, like somebody pulls up to the drive-thru and suddenly they hear, "Welcome to McDonald's. The golden arches are even more golden today. You don't have any idea how good of fries you're getting. They're going to be the most golden fries you've ever had. I said I was going to work at McDonald's, and I did. I went into McDonald's. I said, this is quite a nice McDonald's. And they said, you're quite a nice worker here at the McDonald's. McDonald's." That's not how this came off at all.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Thank you.
So I want to start with the leftist response, and I'm going to go ahead and use Bernie Sanders.
Yesterday, Donald Trump did 15 minutes of work at McDonald's, where tens of thousands of employees earn starvation wages. But when asked whether to raise the $7.25 minimum wage, he refused to comment. I will comment. We need to raise the federal minimum wage to $17 an hour.
So stunning and brave, Bernie. Thanks so much for standing up for everybody and saying that thing you've been saying while also endorsing Harris, Clinton, and Biden every step of the way, not running a real campaign against them in which you actually make them look bad. You know, because they stand for everything you claimed to stand against. Listen, Bernie, retire. Go back up to Vermont, be a nice old man, hang out with your family. That's what you should do. Just stop.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more.
A lot of people are going to try to use that line from Bernie Sanders. Trump shouldn't be there unless he supports raising the minimum wage. Do you not understand what an election is? Oh, right. Bernie Sanders definitely doesn't because,
My friend Joe, Kamala Harris is an actual progressive. Hillary Clinton is not a lizard person here from another planet to destroy human society.
that's what you're out doing. You cape for these people. You can't claim that you're on the side of the people. You're not. You're objectively on the side of capital as you continually prop up these people who prop up capital. That's going to be the primary thing that the left comes at Trump over this with, when what they really should do is sit for a moment and consider why this is such a huge win for him.
Look at
Oh,
that.
Mr.
Look
President.
at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you. How you doing?
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so
You
much.
are not ordinary. I can see.
Like, did you see that? That guy said, it's great. You allow ordinary people to come and meet you. And his instinctual response was, you're not ordinary. Now, to me, ordinary is hardly an insult. I think everybody is weird to some extent, but I definitely prefer being ordinary, living an ordinary life, and being around ordinary people. Yes, we all have our little things, sure, but just existing as part of society is good. But that's not what Trump is saying here. He's clearly saying that as a compliment. Like, you're extraordinary. You're a interesting and extra person in some way. He's saying that because he wants to be complimentary. That's his instinct, is to be complimentary and attempt to establish some kind of bond or relationship or make some kind of positive impression on this person. Why does the left not do that? The left's so intent on being different than other people. And they bill that as some kind of nonconformism. But I disagree because they all look, act, and talk the same. They have a different uniform, sure, but that's conformity too. Conformity is not the question we're asking here. And also, just to be obsessed with being a nonconformist is extremely immature and frankly very unappealing. Being affable, relatable, attempting to form some bond with your fellow human being, that's not bad. It's good. Like, I see people like Bernie Sanders talking about how this is just a stunt. Like, yes, it's an election. It's a campaign. Everyone knows it's a stunt. But let me tell you why it doesn't matter that it's a stunt. It's a gesture. It's an acknowledgement. And that's what the voting base needs. But I'm not really talking about winning campaigns and elections. I don't really care about that. I'm specifically talking about how to get people to support you. The left does not regard everyday people well. It's that simple. They blame them for everything. For instance, and they blame the people for Donald Trump's election in 2016, when in fact this is a democracy. At every turn, they tell us how bad free speech actually is and how they need to get total control.
If the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control.
And how the First Amendment is an obstacle.
There's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So,
and just repeatedly demonstrate that the thing that they want is control, is to be able to manage the population. They don't want democracy. They don't care about democracy. They almost hate it, resent it, for sure. They don't want any of this stuff. They want people to submit and just give the reins over to them and do anything. And if they can't have that, they might as well just lose. And that's better because we can say, oh, look, we told you, you decided to be bad and we told you how to be good and you didn't do it. And now things are worse. And aren't you all just bad little boys and girls who need to shut the fuck up and eat your goddamn meat pie or whatever the fuck? We don't need no education. And I could bark about this all day, but it's not a new problem. And somebody will say, well, that's liberals. That's not the left. I'm just going to again say this. I put out a documentary called Horseshoe Theory is Right, but Not How You Think, in that the left and right are both idealist justifications for bourgeois class rule. It's called Horseshoe Theory is Right, but Not How You Think. It is available as a free documentary and as a pretty inexpensive pamphlet on Amazon.com. I think is an extremely important one, perhaps the most important one I've ever done, because this is about everyone. So whether you like it or not, the Democrats, the liberals, the leftists, a lot of people calling themselves communists even, they're all the left because they all do one big thing. Rather than take an oppositional stance to bourgeois class rule and imperialism, they instead support an ideological justification for it in supporting the State Department, supporting the Democrats as the lesser of two evils, telling us how important it is to vote. There's a book called The Psychology of Reaction by Ruben Osborne. I haven't read it yet, so don't think I'm going to give you a big lecture about that. I was recommended it by a friend who characterized it as a companion book to Fascism and Social Revolution by R. Palm Dutt. The author, Ruben Osborne, also characterizes it as such within the text of the book, apparently. But he recommended it on this basis. Reactionaries, fascists, status quo jockeys, whatever you want to call them, but reactionaries are appealing to, although they are not personally healthy people, they're often very extreme and messed up people, they are appealing to more healthy impulses in human society. Love for your community, for the place that you are from, building, succeeding, stuff like that. These are all healthy impulses that one might have in society. Unfortunately, success is very restricted, and the criteria for it is extremely messed up by a lot of things nowadays. But the left, on the other hand, is appealing to more immature and destructive impulses. The left is about rebellion, and rebellion is immature because, yes, it will take an adversarial attempt at taking power to get what we need. But the things that we need are not to be rebels and to hate conventional things. The things people want and need in this world are the ability to succeed with a skill set, to learn, to build a life, to have some sense of stability and know what they have to do in order to have a comfortable life. We don't have that. And unfortunately, the reactionaries do a pretty good job at seeming to be about that. Now, I'm not saying they are. They aren't. They're not going to make the world better. They're not going to even make the world better for a certain group of people. They're frickin' idiots.
I now declare this frickin' idiot convention open.
But the Democrats are also frickin' idiots who act like they're better than everybody else and that most people kind of deserve bad things because they're bad. Obviously, the majority of people must be bad if Trump got into office. A lot of what I have been doing in my life recently has been about uncovering ideologies that are preventing us from getting anywhere with changing the economic system for the better. There are people who think that my work on fandom is about jealousy, that I want what those people have. No, I have everything that I want. Well, almost everything that I want. I'm very fortunate in terms of how I have done in jobs that are not my personal content, and that allows me to say things that I mean. And I'm not telling you that Donald Trump working at McDonald's shows that he is really on the side of the working class or anything like that, because he's not. What matters is that we need to want better lives for people. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that say, yeah, but I do want a better life for people. Good. I'm not shitting on you for that. But when the left get together collectively, generally speaking, they start talking about how stupid everybody is. And that to them is the problem. Everybody's stupid and doesn't do what they want them to do. And when somebody looks like not that, like maybe a member of the elite comes down from the ivory tower to work in McDonald's for a little while, it doesn't matter if the person is incredible or sincere or any of that. It means that we, the people who are not holding the levers of power, are actually looked at in the equation. That's why this stuff works. Another thing I'm seeing is people calling this staged or stage managed. And I mean, I don't know how you could miss the point harder, because pretty much every one of these types of political appearances is staged to at least some degree. Like, Trump didn't just show up at McDonald's and go, hey, can I do some work for you guys? I would like that very much. I think it would look good, and I think it's good to meet the public. No, duh. Guy staged an obviously cynical photo op, and people are losing their minds. Politicians have been staging stunts like this forever. Now people are acting like it's some genius move from Trump. I don't get it. Is this everyone's first election or something? While this guy is one layer deep in pattern recognition, here's the fun thing. He's still very naive in that, like, this guy is doing exactly what he's complaining about by acting like this is a valid argument against an effective political stunt. Like, he says, I don't get it. Is this everyone's first election campaign or something? Like, I don't get it. Is this guy's first political stunt or something? Like, yes, I understand that this is spectacle. It's an image produced to get some specific reaction from people. But that doesn't matter if nobody's doing the real thing. Like that beer that Obama had. Do you think that wasn't staged? You think they just walked right into a bar and was like, look, I'm going to find a random guy here to have a beer. It's going to be that one, that guy. Let's go get a beer with that guy. You're naive if you think that wasn't staged. At least to some extent. That is not an argument against it. It's like complaining that a commercial is staged. Who gives a shit? Of course, obviously, duh.
Why, that man was clearly reading a teleprompter at this speech. The speech is now nullified.
Every politician does things like this, and none of it is 100% organic. Not just because they're malicious, but it literally can't be. Let's not forget that a couple of months ago, Donald Trump was shot. Do you remember that? Do you remember when he was shot with a bullet from a gun? I am genuinely shocked at people who see a former president doing some kind of interfacing with the public, a man who recently had an attempt on his life. I'm shocked that they think that some amount of curation is not happening there. Like, that's such a dumb argument against this. And it's not the point anyways. Every time a Democrat or prominent leftist even goes on some media platform, they make it clear that they don't care about things like democracy, freedom of speech, etc., etc. Or they make it clear that they're very stupid. As much as a lot of people try to portray Kamala as having done good on that Fox News interview, the fact is she was asked how she is unaccountable for the 78% of people who are discontent with the way the Biden administration has handled things for the last 3.5 years and how she is going to be different. Her response was, Donald Trump has been running.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. That track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But
She doesn't know how to respond to things to even dodge the question. She can't competently dodge a question, and she can't competently answer a question. That's not an intelligent response. It's not the weave, as Donald Trump put it on Flagrant the other day.
You know, I do a thing called the weave. I call it the weave. And some people think it's so genius, but the bad people, what they say is, you know, he was rambling. Yeah. It's not a ramble. There's no rambling with
weave.
Yeah, you really weaved right to answer my question twice.
Really That's brilliant.
So
I don't even want to know the answer anymore. I'm keep weaving.
Donald Trump is not going to do the things that he claims he's going to do out on the campaign. He's not going to be a good president, and I'm not telling you to vote for him because I don't think you should. It's virtue signaling. That's really all this is. But to be frank, people understand that they're being signaled towards. The reason why the left gets all happy about virtue signaling is because it's their thing. Unfortunately for them, dyed-in-the-wool leftists are not the majority, and neither are dyed-in-the-wool right-wingers. Like, you can't just virtue signal towards the right. That's why going into fucking McDonald's and working there for a little while works. It's virtue signaling to the people who quietly do the work. If you were able to vote for no president, that would be the immediate thing I would do, because quite frankly, I don't want to hear from Jill Stein. I don't want to hear from any third-party person who has no chance of winning how great their platform is. It doesn't matter. It might as well be pretend, because it is. It's pretend. Like, Jill Stein is, to be frank, running for fun at this point. I would like to vote for no president. I'm tired of presidents. I'm tired of presidential politics. I'm tired of pretending that it matters. I'm tired of people saying to me, oh my God, my candidate is just going to fix everything. And those other people's candidate is going to ruin everything. Democracy is doomed if they win. Democracy is not doomed if they win. You can't doom something that is also pretend. And I have a bone to pick with the people who like say the system is working as it's supposed to. When I say the system's not working, I know that it's working the way it's supposed to. It's that it has a fucking contradiction at the center that screws everything up. So I don't care if it's working how it's supposed to. It's not working. And we need to be more aggressive about that. Not about which of the two dipshits will be less of a dipshit. And that means addressing people's material concerns. And as of now, the reactionaries are just flat out doing a better job of it. Do you know why the healthcare thing caught on so well with Bernie Sanders? Even though it wouldn't have fixed everything, healthcare is a fucking mess and we all got to deal with it at some point. The reason that worked is because it was addressing people. The problem is Bernie Sanders is a huge weakling and decides that it's not actually a bad thing to make your opponent look good, to act like your opponent isn't your opponent, but instead is your old friend. Old Joe, my old friend. I'll endorse Kamala Harris. She's a progressive, blah, blah. Does that mean Bernie Sanders would have given us what we want? No, but absent that, which is the situation we are in now, we only have the elitist Democrats as the alternative choice, and the lesser of two evils looks continually less appealing every election. But Donald Trump is appealing to that. He's doing things that appeal to that. People don't care if it's cynical or not. The other side isn't even doing it cynically. And if we want to get anywhere with anything, we have to start showing people that we care about them, that we don't think they're idiots. I want to succeed, and I want others to succeed. And I don't want to wait until communism for others to succeed. I want them to succeed now or as soon as possible. And I want their success to help build economic power for groups that are attempting to move us to a higher stage of production. If we align ourselves with this viewpoint, we are going to make friends. We're going to make connections, allies. We're going to build power, relationships, communities. It's going to work, at least work better than just acting like everybody's bad. And if we consume better, if we make better choices, then, the world's better. Don't stop eating meat. That'll stop the pollution problem or whatever. No, that's got to stop. You know what? You're good. Until you prove otherwise, that's what I think. You're good. That's how it works for me. That's probably going to make those elements of people more mad than anything else I've said here. But I don't care how angry people are at me. It doesn't make me happy, but whatever. It's not going to affect what I do. Beyond that, that's all I've got for you. But what do you have for me? There's buttons down there. I need you to lick them, slurp all over them, become a subscriber, and money me at patreon.com/PeterCoffin. Your support helps me do this, which is, it's pretty good, right? If this wasn't enough for you, I certainly have more documentaries up here. Those are good. I think those are a lot higher effort and make the points, including the horseshoe one that is, it's the most recent one as of now. But if you want more of these shorter, more ranty style videos, they're here. So, have a great week. I'll talk to you hopefully next week.